Okay, so what even is the EE method, and more so than that, what exactly is the EE method? And this video might be of interest to you, it might be of no interest to you, but it is a big interest to me, and I want to share it with you because it's really special to me. And I'm in an enrollment process right now, and it's a very important, special time for me. And so I want to tell you what it is. And so often we think that people out in the internet worlds know what we're up to. They know what's going on with us. They're paying attention. They're seeing our posts. And the truth is, a lot of times people have no idea what people are actually up to. There's a lot of noise on the internet. And so I want to take an opportunity to tell you exactly what the EE method is. The EE method is the Elevated Experience Method for Psychedelic Facilitators. And this is a company that I opened just over 2 years ago with an idea that was given to me. If you don't know the storyline behind this, it was an idea that was given to me directly from God just about 3 years ago on New Year's Eve. And so I think I'll start there. So for those of you who don't know a lot about me, I have been, working officially and playing in the psychedelic realms for close to 2 decades. I have been running an online business in personal development, spiritual development, professional development for the last, like 8 years now. And I've been hosting psychedelic experiences for almost 2 decades. And somehow I became like the queen pin of psychedelic spirituality. And that's what people know me for now. Although my work, in my opinion, is well beyond the psychedelic realms. It has become a huge part of my life, so much so that I opened a new company just about 2 years ago. And so on New Year's Eve, 3 years ago, I was on the treadmill. I was at my parents' house in Colorado, for those of you who've not heard this story. And it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And everyone in my family is in couples. I'm the only single one in my family, which is so lame. But it was like 2 in the morning. Everyone had gone to bed, and I decided to get on the treadmill because at that time I was doing the 75 hard. So it's 2 in the morning. It's New Year's Day. I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, okay, what's good? What's good here? What are we doing in this new year? And I very distinctly heard this very clear message from what I can only understand to be as God speaking to me. You're going to create a certification program for psychedelic facilitators. And honestly, my first reaction was, no, the fuck I'm not. And it didn't feel good. It didn't feel safe. I was like, absolutely not. Who does that? Like, no. And so it didn't go away. And I sat with it for about 6 months. And about 6 months later, I had hosted a retreat. I have a signature luxury psychedelic retreat that's called Girls Trip that I host around the world for women. And we had done our Girls Trip Joshua Tree. And it was in the days after that retreat, we were in our decompression, and I just realized that I hit a breaking point where I was just really bored with what I was doing, and I was done with what I was doing, and I knew that there was so much more for me. And so that little voice came knocking again and was like, hey, let's revisit this conversation about you opening up a certification program for psychedelic facilitators. And so I marinated on it, and I decided to lean into it. And I started really taking a look at what that would look like, why I would do that, what that would mean, what that would take from me, and what the point would be. And something that you should know about me is I believe in psychedelics for the magic of psychedelics. My background is not in therapy. It's not in the holistic side. It's not in the healing side of psychedelics. And while we are seeing this in major ways with the legalization of psychedelics and just the kind of, mass rise of interest in plant medicine and psychedelic experiences, a lot of the focus is on microdosing and utilizing these things for healing, which is so beautiful. And that has not been my experience. Although I have received incredible healing through the years working with these tools, I come from a very different perspective. And the perspective that I come from is the magic of psychedelic experiences. I utilize them. I have utilized them in my work for many years, and I utilize them with the energy of activation and expansion. That's the reason why. And I believe that there is still a vibration of fun and joy and childlike wonder that is very present in these experiences, which is so therapeutic and so healing in so many ways. And I think that incredible transformation and healing can be had with these tools, even when we're not necessarily going into it with the intention of trying to heal or trying to fix something or, trying to solve something. There is so much healing that can happen through joy and enjoyment. And so that's kind of the perspective that I come from with psychedelics. And what I see in the psychedelic industry is I do consider myself a leader in this industry. I've been working with psychedelics, personally and professionally, semi-professionally for almost 2 decades. I've been hosting psychedelic experiences, events, doing different things, working with clients on one-to-one levels, ceremonies, all kinds of things. And I officially brought psychedelics into my business online in 2021 when I launched my first plant medicine program called the Heart Passcode with the beautiful plant Medicina Bobensana. And when that happened for me, I saw a huge shift in my business. And that is when my business really began to take off. I launched my business officially in 2015. And it wasn't really until 2021 when I really started to make traction and actually got to really see that I was a business owner and that I was successful and that I was making money and I was making a real tangible difference. And so with all of this history of all of this work I've done in the psychedelic realms and in the field, I've gotten to be around a lot of people who work with plant medicine and psychedelics. And there is something that I truly believe. I believe that there are no limits for who should be working with these tools. And I believe that we're in a time right now where there's a lot of different perspectives and ways that we can do this work. And I don't necessarily believe that one way is better than another way. But right now, what we're seeing with this psychedelic renaissance that we're in is we're just seeing a lot of different ways to do it. And the business of psychedelics is definitely here. And this is a subject that can make people feel uncomfortable because when the business of something happens, it can create a lot of havoc and it can create loss and it can do a lot of harm and damage. And so I understand that while this renaissance and this third wave time that we're in with psychedelics and plant medicine is very exciting, very, very incredibly exciting for the advancement, for the medical benefits, for so many things, it also is something that is deeply personal to a lot of people, and a lot of people feel some kind of way about it. And I don't feel that I'm on either side of the coin. I feel that I fall in the space in between. I believe in honoring the spirit of these beautiful sacraments and treating them like the entheogens that they are to be used to generate the divine within. And I also know that they are ancient future technologies that really enhance creativity, that can help cure things like depression and anxiety. They can deeply connect you to yourself, which allows you to not be suffering in so many ways, allows you to activate your potential, to tap into creativity. It can help with relationships. It can help with your connection to God, divine, source, insert whatever word is right for you here. And there's just no limit to the goodness and to the beauty that these tools can bring to the world. And so when I was invited into the idea, essentially from God, that I would create a certification program for psychedelic facilitators, I knew what I wanted to do was to be able to create something for people who really hold the magic of psychedelics deeply and with integrity in their heart, and really know these tools and want to be able to facilitate them and share them in a way that changes the world, really helps people, and also is sustainable in a way that can allow them to be taken care of as well. And what I mean in a more blunt way is for people to do the work that they're meant to be able to do and to be able to get paid for it. Okay, that's really my magic. I dabble in the title of psychedelic CEO, and I really am My medicine woman that I am, I don't look like a traditional medicine woman. When you think of a medicine woman, you're definitely not going to picture me. I'm not earthy. Metallic gold is probably the most neutral color that you'll ever see me wear. I don't typically fall into the vision of what you would maybe stereotypically think of when you think of a medicine woman, but I am a medicine woman full on through and through. I know my medicine, and my medicine woman, she does business. She stands on business. And this is something that I am very gifted in, and teaching people how to navigate the psychedelic realms and utilize the transformation and the activation that can happen within psychedelic experiences to teach you that you actually can create anything. And that's the magical realm that I play in psychedelics. So I knew I wanted to create a certification program that would really nurture the people who wanted to facilitate psychedelics in this way. In addition to that, I know that there are so many people out there who are being given permission to facilitate psychedelics. Like, for example, psychologists, psychiatrists are being given the permission to facilitate psychedelics, to facilitate psilocybin, and there is a disconnect that's happening for a lot of people. I've had people in my community come to me. I've had clients that I've worked with who have the permission to utilize these tools, but they don't have the relationship with these tools to really have the embodiment to utilize the tools in a way that could be of the highest benefit. Now, I want to preface this and say, mushrooms, for example, psychedelic tools, psychedelic experiences, plant medicines, they are beautiful in whatever way that they work for the people that they work for. However that is done is beautiful. And while I don't think that there's any right or wrong way, I always think that there's experience and embodiment and depth and intimacy and intention that can be improved and turned up. And that is really what I am teaching with the Elevated Experience Method. So what is the EE Method? It is a certification program for psychedelic facilitators. And it's for people who want to facilitate psychedelics, who are called to do this work. I have one requirement to train with me. And the requirement is that you have to have a relationship with psychedelics. And you decide what that relationship is. I'm not the Lord here. I'm not here to, qualify you. I'm not here to tell you what is right or wrong for you, but you must have a relationship with psychedelics to be able to come and train with me. Okay. And the reason is there is no way somebody can actually certify you to facilitate psychedelics. It's a joke. Sometimes when I tell people I have a certification program for facilitating psychedelics, I want to slap my own face because I'm not as, ignorant to believe that there is just some kind of class or training that qualifies you to do this work. It's about the relationship that you have with these tools, with this sacrament that qualifies you. You qualify yourself through the relationship you have. So that is the one requirement that I have to, allow you to enter into this training dojo with me. And so it is for people who want to take that step, who have seen the ways psychedelics have impacted their life, who want to bring these powerful tools into the practices, into the businesses that they're already running. And then in addition to that, it is for people who are already facilitating psychedelics or plant medicine, but are not really having the results that they desire to have. And I'm talking about really impact, positioning, business, and the financial success that they desire to have. And the reality is, the business of psychedelics is here. And we're about to see a lot of people make a lot of money in the psychedelic industry. Okay, we saw the way that the cannabis industry transformed, and we're going to see a very similar thing happen with psychedelics, and there's going to be a lot of people who are left out. And I don't believe that anyone who has a relationship with these tools, that is in integrity with these tools, that desires to be supported for the work that they're doing with these tools, for them to be left out. And that's where the Elevated Experience Method for psychedelic facilitators comes in. So what it is it's a 7-month training program with me. It's very intimate. We have been running this company for 2 years. So far, we've had incredible success in the first 2 years of this company being open. We are just shy of having already grossed $150,000. And I share that number with you because I'm inviting you to learn how to make money with me and build a sustainable business facilitating psychedelics and plant medicine, which is why I'm sharing these numbers with you. It is rare to do that large of numbers in your first 2 years of business, but we're standing on business over here, and we have a really solid training program that we've created. So it's 7 months long, and we're getting ready to run our third student class round. I train people individually, one-to-one, in a 7-month, one-to-one experience. And then each year so far, this will be our third year, we've run a group class program that is taught live, and it rolls out over a 7-month period. We begin in March. Our next class is in March 2025. We are on the early bird, exciting time enrollment, where our program is about almost 50% off of its regular price. And it's broken up into 7 pillars. Okay, so 7 different months. And every month I teach a master class. I bring in a special guest to help me teach on whatever subject we are focused on, whatever the pillar is. We do a workshop. We have a practicum, so my students will participate in one ceremony experience geared towards whatever the month's facilitation topic is, and you'll basically do 7 different ceremonies over the 7 months, because I believe the only thing that actually qualifies you to be good at facilitating psychedelics is the experience that you have facilitating psychedelics. It's a completely unpredictable realm when it comes to facilitating experiences. It's like nothing else. And the only thing that's really going to prepare you for the actual experience within the psychedelic experience is having that experience. So the first month we focus on your medicine, which is where we really deeply tune into who you are and what your medicine is. Okay, what it is that you've been called to do, what makes you you, what have you healed through, what are you good at, what is the transformation that you've taken yourself through. And this is very closely linked to the type of psychedelic facilitation work that you'll do. So we start with that as the foundational pillar, because unless you know what your medicine is, you can't really be a medicine facilitator. And we're not teaching you just how to facilitate psychedelics, to administer, a psychedelic sacrament to someone. We're really teaching you how to take people through really profound transformational experiences. It's much deeper than even just, trip sitting for somebody that is having a psychedelic experience. And so we start with your medicine. Then we move into pillar 2, which is science and culture. This is where you learn about the ancestry of these tools, the history and the ancestry is very, very important. There is a lot of fear with this new wave of psychedelic renaissance that's here, that a lot of the history and the culture is going to be forgotten. And that is a rightful fear, because in the colonization of things and in the business of things and in the westernization of things, we tend to have a pattern for seeing that happen. And so it's really important to us to make sure that you really understand the culture and the history and the mycology and the science behind these tools that you're working with. It's a very delicate and comprehensive part of the experience. And in addition to that, we lead you into a lot of practices and teachings and discovery about your own ancestry and your own connection through your bloodline, through your heritage, through your nationality that you have to these beautiful earth sacraments. After that, we move into your tool set. This is where we take a look at, the tools that you have, what kind of certifications you have, what kind of trainings you have, what kind of skills. And you start to identify, what playing pieces you have to work with in the psychedelic realms. For example, one of my tool sets is I do activations. I have a certification in quantum healing, and I do activations, quantum healings and activations. And so I take people through regressions, energy shifting, timeline shifting, visualizations, meditations. That's the like magic that I facilitate in psychedelic experiences. And a lot of people have different skill sets. Some people are singers, some people play sound bowls, some people do breath work, some people do yoga. And this is where we kind of figure out what your tool set is, what you're working with, and how to merge your work with psychedelics with the tool set you have and the medicine that you're bringing into your facilitation. And then after that, we move into pillar number 4, which is kind of like the heart chakra of the program, the center point in its facilitation. And this is where we really begin to teach you about facilitation, holding spaces. We start exploring and playing with you about the possibilities for holding spaces, the online space, ceremony space, one-to-one space, group space, all the different possibilities out there for you to really be doing this work. And we're in a really cool time right now where there's no limit to the desire that people have for psychedelic experiences. I mean, if you're anything like me, your mom might be microdosing. So, you know, people are definitely paying attention to this psychedelic renaissance that's happening, and a lot of people are curious. People that would have never felt curious, would have never felt safe, are starting to feel safe because it's becoming more mainstream. And so this is where we really start to talk about the art of facilitation, which is really the heart and soul of this experience. You know, I host in-person experiences. I've been hosting in-person experiences for almost 2 decades. I'm a legendary hostess with the mostest, and I really specialize in taking people through in-person experiences. And also I understand how to navigate the online space when it comes to ceremony work too. And so this is a very like vast pillar, because there really is no limits. And that's what we want to invite you into, is this idea that there are so many opportunities for you to be a psychedelic facilitator, and there's so many ways that you can do it. After that, we move into pillar number 5, which is dedicated to your clients. This is where we learn about, trauma-informed facilitation, how to take care of clients, emotional intelligence, integrity. This is where we start to learn about intake forms, learning who is the right clients for you, who is not, how to get that defined. This is where you begin your vetting process to really understand who are the right people to be working with you, who do you not want to work with. And this is a very important aspect of business, because unless you know who you're meant to be working with and are able to communicate with those people in a way where they understand that your service is for them, it's going to be really hard for you to call your clients in and to do business. So we spend a lot of time talking about, different things that can come up with clients, mental histories, things that are contraindications. There's medications out there that can be contraindications for psychedelic work. There's a lot to take in consideration with your clients. And then after that, we move into my favorite pillar, which is pillar number 6, the psychedelic CEO. And this is where we really get into business. We start talking about your systems, websites, contracts, agreements, payment processors. One of the things that we deal with, especially in the psychedelic industry, is we are running restricted business, which means it's very easy to get shut down from some of the more normal mainstream payment processors. So we teach you what payment processors are safe to use. We teach you how to set them up, how to go through the process, how to be safe about it. Really all the businessy sides. This is a very full month. It's an exciting month for me because this is really like my forte, is the business side of this. And this is my interest really in training you, is to take you from the place of being a facilitator to the place of being a facilitator that's actually successful and being paid for their facilitation services. So this is a very satisfying month for me within the program, and where a lot of magic happens. And then we move into our 7th pillar, which is branding. And we take you through a complete branding experience, help you build branding boards, teach you about all aspects of branding, help you with logos, and just really get your business beautified. It's kind of like the cherry on top pillar. And we even do a branding photo shoot with you at our graduation retreat that we have at the end of pillar number 7. We close our experience with a group graduation retreat down in Tulum, Mexico. We come together for 4 nights. We have a branding photo shoot. We have workshops. We have our last practicum, which is a ceremony all together in person. And then we actually have a live graduation with certificates and all down in Mexico. It's a really, really fun time. And it's the time when we actually get to all meet together in person. The idea behind the EE method is by the time you go through our 7 months, you're completely set up to be running a psychedelic facilitation business. And even if you already are facilitating psychedelics, the 7-month process is going to refine your skill set. It's going to take you deeper into what you're doing. You're going to understand what you're doing better. You're going to level up. I don't care how good you are. This is not about an ego thing. I know it can be kind of like a question sometimes of like, why would I need somebody else? Why would I need somebody else to certify me to do this work? And really what I want to invite you to look at is how would you like to refine and become even better at the work that you're doing? And that's the education that I'm offering you. That's the training that I'm offering you. You know, it's a really beautiful thing when somebody who is already facilitating decides to come into this program. It's such a camaraderie and like a colleague on colleague type of environment. And it's just a really beautiful opportunity when I get to help people who are already facilitating learn to do it in a way that allows them to be more successful and more understood. I really get high off of that. So that's the 7 months. Once you graduate, you are officially a certified facilitator of the Elevated Experience Method, and you become part of our membership and affiliation. So your program rolls you automatically into your first year of membership. And as a member, you are featured in our database. We are building what will one day be a world-renowned, amazing database of psychedelic facilitators. You'll have a placement and feature there. We'll promote your work. You're allowed to say that you are a certified facilitator if that's something that is exciting to you. A lot of people really love the fact that they are certified in things, and a lot of clients love to hear that people are certified in things. So that's meant to be a confidence booster for you and for you to feel really good about that. And then when we go into our membership, you have a year with us, and it's an annually renewed membership. And you get quarterly master classes, you get invitations to special guest presentations. We have offerings that are just for our members, like in-person ceremony days, workshops, mastermind days. This year we're trying out something new. We're gonna have monthly co-working space together where you get to come in and just like work on your business, have my eyes and ears available to you during the co-working sessions. In addition to that, what else? There's so many things. We have a membership portal where there's resources for you. There's playlists, there's embodiment practices, breathwork practices, teachings, classes, activations, all kinds of goodies for you to really support you in your business. That's the whole deal behind this. And this is the magic of choosing the EE method versus some of the other amazing psychedelic facilitation programs that are out there. And there's a lot of them out there. And what I can confidently say about this is our program honors people who honor the magic of psychedelics. That's like our number one core value. The EE method honors the magic of psychedelic experiences. And what we really do is help you run your business. And that's definitely like our why you should choose us like strong point, because it's one thing to learn how to facilitate. It's a whole other thing to be able to facilitate and actually do it and make it happen and be protected and be successful and actually make money. That's a whole nother ball game. And that's what we're really doing here in the EE method, which is why we made it a membership and affiliation, so that after the program, you're not just out there, you're part of something. When I created the EE method, I wanted to create something that people could feel part of. There's been other leaders in the coaching industries and the personal development industries who have developed brands that have created this feeling of belonging for people. Not only did it feel like somebody's brand, it felt like something that was for everyone. And that's why I created the EE method, for you to have a place to be supported and to be part of, and to feel like you had people you're walking with and colleagues and support. And the reality is psychedelic facilitation is not for the faint of heart. As far an advancement as we've made it in the legalization process, if you are doing this work at this time, you are literally still an outlaw. And it can be really scary to walk the path alone. Psychedelic facilitation can be confusing for people who don't understand psychedelics. It can make you feel like you're in a box, like people don't understand what you're doing. There can be a lot of judgment, and there can be moments that are actually really scary because there's aspects of it that are still restricted business. And honestly, like, unless you have that outlaw energy, psychedelic facilitation is really not for you, or else it is, but you need to stay completely underground, right? And I was completely underground for many, many, many years. You know, there wasn't even ever like a video or any evidence of any of the psychedelic work that I had been doing for many, many years. And it was scary for me when I came out into the online space. I remember the day when I first talked about psychedelics online. It was in 2016, and my dad strongly advised me not to. And this is before we had Facebook Live. This is back when we had Periscope. And I remember I was talking about the 10 best tips to getting the most out of your psychedelic experiences. And it was like a tomato firing brigade on me. I'll never forget it. People were yelling at me through the computer, telling me I was evil, that I was trying to do this and that. And it was a really horrible feeling. And at that time, you know, 8 years ago, you weren't hearing about psychedelics in the way that we are now, right? And I am a leader in this industry because I've been forging this path for quite some time. And my energy and my understanding of the psychedelic realm led me to where I'm at now, sitting here running a company that grossed $150,000 in its first 2 years, educating wonderful, magical people on how to safely and sustainably facilitate psychedelics. Like, I mean, pinch me. I can't even believe that this is where my journey took me. But, you know, my personal experience with psychedelics was they taught me that I could create anything. You know, simply stated, even when I would go to a festival and it would be the end of a festival and I had such beautiful psychedelic experiences with my friends and it was so magical, and I would leave those experiences feeling so inspired. Like, what can I do with this? What can I create with this? And that's the energy that I've always played with in the psychedelic realms. And that's still the energy that I play with when I facilitate. I still facilitate from a creative viewpoint. I still facilitate for fun. I still facilitate playful environments, because those environments and that way of experiencing psychedelics is what made me who I am today. It made me the successful person that I am. It healed me in the ways that I needed to be healed to be able to be sitting here as the CEO of this company now and inviting you to join me on this mission. So there is like a billion other things that I could say about what the EE method is, but I think this gives you an idea. And, you know, I don't really run my business here on Facebook. I primarily run my business over on Instagram. You can follow me over there, the Illuminatrix. There's a lot more information over there, but I really wanted to explain to you what this is because it's really, really important to me. It is my legacy work, and I want to take you on this journey with me. I believe in what we're doing, and, you know, we've graduated 2 years of students through the program now and several private one-to-one clients, and it's been amazing to see what they've done already. They've already begun facilitating before they even graduated. Some of the like #1 top goal dreams of psychedelic facilitation that some of our students had have already happened. And it's really, really fulfilling to watch. And I feel really, really good about what these people are doing. And when industries get saturated and when industries grow really big and there is like a big opportunity for lots of money to be made, sometimes the integrity of what's happening out there gets a little bit sketchy. And so this is how I can do my part. This is how I can feel good about the renaissance that we're in of the psychedelic third wave. This is how I can feel good about participating in the business of psychedelics while also honoring the magic of psychedelics and the history and where this all came from. So my DM is open always. You can always message me. You can find me here or over on Instagram. I will tell you that we are in a special enrollment period right now. We open enrollment every year at our graduation retreat, and we open it for the next year's class, and we open it with a very good rate. We're about close to 50% off the full price, and we have a 13-month payment plan. And it is a perfect time for you to freaking say yes to something really beautiful. This is a personal development program inside of a professional development program, inside of a psychedelic facilitator's certification. And there's no way that I could ever really explain to you fully the impact that it will have on your life. But I believe in it fully, and I am excited to see who's going to walk with us in this next year to come. We are going to close the open enrollment on the 20th. So now is the time to have a conversation with me. My books are open. I will drop my scheduling link in the comments. I am hosting free consult calls because this is a big decision. It's also a big decision for me as well, because whoever is joining me is somebody that I am essentially agreeing to go into relationship for an undisclosed amount of time. This could be a relationship that we start together and walk with for many years to come. I created this to have staying power and to be bigger than me, and I want you with me. So you are amazing. You're perfect as you are. And if you made it to the end of this, number one, I love you, and you should probably go to the link and book a call with me, because it's clear that there's something here for you. So I want to help you make it happen. All right. Have a wonderful night. Aloha.